guys, I'm Ellen, and today I'm going to walk us through a little flow that focuses on building shoulder strength. So this is a great video if you want to build foundation for arm balancing, which is something that you may have noticed in my videos I almost never do up till this point because I've had wrist issues, so I haven't been able to, but that's getting better. So maybe we'll be able to do some of those videos soon, but let's do this one first. If you've got tight shoulders, I would do the flexibility video I have on my channel first for shoulder flexibility so you don't hurt yourself. But other than that, let's do it. So let's get started today in child's pose. So actually for this one, let's bring our knees together, a narrowed knee child's pose. Feet flat on the floor. And then as you bring your body down, you can stretch your arms out first. Bring your forehead to the mat. And then circle your arms back around so they're by your feet. You can even grab onto your heels and give them a little pull. It should feel like a nice stretch across the top of your shoulder here. Just a little pull, and then you can set them down. And let's check in with our breathing. We're here doing yoga after all. So nice big deep breaths. Feel your belly pressing into your thighs on your inhales. Feel your shoulders relax on your exhales. Imagine your shoulder blades are just drooping down away from each other, getting a nice big stretch across your upper back. Your hips are settling down towards your heels. Maybe we'll just stay here for the whole video. This is pretty nice. All right, so begin to deepen your breath a little bit. And then on an inhale, sweep your arms forward, keeping them straight. Spread those fingers out. And then when you're stretching them out as far in front of you as they go, plant your elbows on the mat. Bring your hands together and then bend your elbows so your hands come back behind your head in a little prayer pose. Should feel like a little stretch through the triceps. And then again, sit your hips heavier down onto your heels. I like on my inhales to maybe walk my shoulders or my elbows forward just a micrometer, and then on my exhales, settle those hips down to increase that gentle stretch sensation. Still breathing nice and big. Your breath should feel so big in your body that you have to expand into your back and into your sides since your belly is pressing into your thighs. So your whole body gets bigger on your inhales. Even in this fairly compressed position, you still use those inhales to expand, to extend into all the little nooks and crannies in your body. And then using your exhales to soften and really get into that stretching sensation. All right, and finish your next exhale here. And then on an inhale, take your hands to the mat, spread your fingers out, and then bring yourself on up to hands and knees. And so I want to talk us through what is a pretty essential part of shoulder strength in yoga. So whatever's on the mat, that's our foundation, right? That's for any pose. Usually it's our feet or our legs. When we're doing shoulder stuff, we're using our arms. So we need our shoulder joints to be super stable. And the way to protect the shoulder joint is to basically be pressing the floor away. So you have to use your hands and your arms and don't dump into your wrists. That's what we don't want to do. You want to press into all the finger pads and your fingers, spreading them out. Stay super active there. And so what I want you to do is just feel your arms nice and strong, but feel your rib cage just drop down and see how that kind of shoves your shoulders, like your arm bone, your humerus bone, up into the shoulder joint. So what we want to do in yoga, whenever we're using our arms and shoulders as our stability point, you want to press the floor away so it's like that arm is coming out a little bit of the shoulder joint, just slightly. It's not a big deal. So just kind of play with that a little bit, just dropping down, like, relax. And then feel your rib cage lift up. And your arms stay nice and strong. So your muscles are still working. They're still going to hold you. And your alignment is good. So your bones are still holding you up, right? But you're just using your muscles in your shoulders to support the joint so it stays nice and safe and yummy. So from there, let's just take a couple little cat-cows. So even as you inhale, your belly drops down, your rib cage drops down, but you're still active through your shoulders. And when you're doing that, you want to feel your shoulders pulling away a little bit. So your collarbones and your shoulder blades are all coming away from midline as you inhale. And then on your exhale, you really feel that nice big arch, big stretch in your back. Engage through the arms. So the shoulders in yoga, they don't really function just all by themselves. So keep going, inhaling, dropping down, exhaling, and curling up. So what I was saying, your shoulders don't function by themselves. They're basically an extension from your core and your solar plexus all the way to your hands. And so when we're thinking of our shoulders, you want to think of that entire system. So your core stays engaged, your hands are really active, and everything's working together. All right, and then on an inhale, bring yourself forward a little bit, curl those toes under, and then exhale, slide those hips back, downward facing dog. Take a second here. So again, arms super engaged. This is when I get really lazy and just kind of like drop into my arms. I'm like, oh, I'm totally resting. This is totally nice. You want to keep a lot of engagement through your entire arms, pressing into those hands, feeling your shoulders lifting, your back lifting up and out of your shoulders a little bit. Those shoulders are still pulling away from each other. And then your heart can just drop down. So maybe a little bend in the knees so that way you're not rounding through your low back there. Just a breath or two like that. And then inhale, you might need to bring your hands out in front a little bit. Roll forward to plank. And let's do that same thing again. So first feel yourself drop down a little bit and then push the floor away. Let's do like 3 or 4 little mini push-ups. If it hurts your shoulders to drop down, well, be like, oh yeah, that's why we're doing that. But really, just don't drop down quite as much. So just feel that pushing away sensation. And then pushing away. Don't let your belly drop down. Keep your legs engaged. So right now our arms are part of our foundation. You can bring your knees to the floor too at any time. But our feet and our legs are also part of this foundation. So again, it starts in the core. Your core is super strong. That lifts up. And that pulls your upper body away from the floor as you're pressing into your hands. And so the shoulders are nice and strong and stable. You may already be feeling a little bit of heat in the body. Stay with your breath. All right. Big inhale, press into the floor. Get as big as you can. Exhale, downward dog. And then inhale, take your right leg forward. Left knee comes to the ground, little lunge. And then inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, stay, sink forward. Inhale, reach up. This is just to warm up the legs a little bit because we're going to need it. Just reach back a little bit, working those leg balance muscles. Exhale, come forward. If you've got knee issues, make sure this knee doesn't come too far in front. As long as you're really strong through your back leg, it's okay for it to come a little bit in front of the ankle, unless you've got issues. So just back and forth like that. Again, so your shoulders, for me, I feel like, I'll show you really quick. It's like they want to come together as you lift up, and this gets really strong. You want to be able to lift up while simultaneously pulling everything away. I watched this like hilarious, like making fun of yoga college humor video or something that somebody sent me, and it was just like, do this and then do the opposite thing, like stand up and lie down or something. And that's kind of, it's true actually, where I was like, okay, lift up, but pull away. So anyway, do both. Yoga has room for both. All right, and then exhale, circle those arms down and step back to downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Nice big inhale, take the left leg forward this time, just to warm up the hips. Arms come right back up. And just little motion. So the motion in your hips is basically just inhaling, rocking back as you lift up, and then exhale, sink into it a little bit. So thighs squeeze together. Heart stays lifted. Keep those upper traps, those muscles on tops of your shoulders, pretty long. Hands are engaged, fingertips are active. Motion starts with the breath. Just a little warm up. If your arms start getting tired from just holding them up, good. That's why we're doing the video. All right, nice big inhale. Exhale, circle those arms down, pull those fingers away from your shoulders, and this time step forward to the top of your mat. Landing in just a little forward fold. I like to keep my knees bent for this one. And you can just kind of relax the shoulders out really quick. Now press into your heels a lot. Bend your knees so your hips sit back. And then inhale, sweep those arms forward, coming into a chair pose. So your belly is strong. Tailbone is pointed away from you. Keeping those arms up again. Shoulders away, heart is open, collarbones are open. Arms are up, fingers are active. Everything is happening. No need for your mind to go anywhere other than right here, right now, which is why we do yoga. And then nice big inhale, lift up. Keep your arms up, shift your weight into the left foot, and just step your right foot back into a high lunge. Again, let's take 2 or 3 breaths like we did before. Inhale, shift your weight into your back foot. You can even straighten that front leg a little bit. Thumbs point straight back behind you. Exhale, bring it forward just a little. This time, really make sure that front knee, left knee doesn't come in front of the ankle. Nice big inhale. And a big exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, arms reach up through your middle fingers and your first and second finger and thumbs. And then exhale, bring yourself halfway down. Belly is super, super strong. You can stay here, feeling your core engage and feeling how that reaches all the way up into your arms. Or if you're feeling fancy, you can take Warrior 3. And that all starts from the back leg, lifting up, making sure that right foot is, toes are pointed straight down. Wobbly today. And again, you'll feel how your arms really have to work here. Yeah, if you start needing it to burn, that's really good. You can always take a break and then just get right back in. And if you're down here in this version, awesome, same exact thing. Starts with the belly. The belly is super strong, keeping that rib cage away from your pelvis, whether you're flying or whether you're rooted, it doesn't matter. Good. And then if you're in Warrior 3, come on back. Let's take a nice big back bend just to shake that out. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, circle those arms down. Step back to that plank. Hold here for a second. And then let's take a nice slow chaturanga. So your elbows point straight back. Your head is reaching forward. Your shoulders are pulling away and back towards your heels. You slowly lower down. Belly is super strong. You can pause it halfway. If you feel yourself dumping into your wrists like I do, take your knees down. You'll obviously feel this in your shoulders. If you don't, you're way stronger than me. And then bring yourself all the way down. Take your feet to the ground. Inhale those arms back behind you. Inhale, stretch up. Feel yourself drop down just a little on the exhale. Inhale, reach those arms back. And exhale, uncurl the hands. Feel the hands right underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes in, belly is strong. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, lift straight up. And then back to downward facing dog. Good. Couple breaths here. Realign those shoulders. Alrighty, and then let's do the other side. So inhale your right foot forward, left foot back, and then come all the way up, high lunge. Couple little foot rocks, finding that foundation. Inhaling back, really spread those fingers out. I don't know, for some reason I feel like it feels super yummy just to shift my weight back and forth in this pose. It's really good for balance. A lot of people have a hard time with this one, so if you're falling all over the place, you're not alone. All right, nice big inhale. Exhale, belly pulls in a lot as you bring yourself forward. You can stay here or shift your weight into your front foot. Fire up your left glute, Warrior 3. Thumbs still point up, your fingers are nice and spread. This should almost feel like a thumb stretch. Then all they like texting. You want to reach those fingers out, right? And then back to the breath. And again, like I feel my shoulders wanting to come up to my ears. They pull away, so your collarbones stay open. Thumbs are up, breathing. Your belly is strong. Couple more breaths. And then weight in the heel in your right foot so you protect your knee. Float that back foot down. Inhale, little back bend. And exhale, circle those arms forward. This time, as you step back, let's take another nice slow chaturanga. Shoulders throw back, all the way down to the mat. And then bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Press your toes into the mat. Pull that butt up so you're in a nice forearm plank. And so a lot of times we do forearm planks with our hands together, like at the gym. All right, 60 seconds, go. But for this one, it helps keep the shoulders out. If you can keep your wrists in line with your shoulders, it's like way harder for some reason. So try that. Hands are active. If this is like already starting to be too much in your shoulders, pause the video, do something else, take a little break. You really don't want to overdo it. It's just not worth it, believe me. Or if you've got the flexibility, you tiptoe those toes up, dolphin pose. Same as downward dog, maybe a little bend in the knees might be nice. And this one, that's when the shoulders really, so that's when your chest really wants to come down. So that's when that pushing away, so there's space in your shoulder joint, is really important. Couple breaths. You can do this one like this, that's fine. And if you're really fancy and like way better at yoga than, well, way better at the yoga postures, you can like come on up into a forearm stand. Anyway, all right, so we're in dolphin. Let's walk our feet back out. So we're in our forearm plank. Gently lower your pelvis down as you bring your heart forward to protect your low back. Coming to a little sphinx or cobra. And then relax it down. Hands come back behind you. Interlace those fingers. We'll stretch it out and then bring it down. Inhale to your normal low cobra with your hands right underneath your shoulders, elbows pulling back and in towards your sides. And then exhale, downward dog. Take a big inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale all your air and then gently walk or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to chair. Stay here as you exhale. Inhale all the way up to stand, maybe a little back bend, thumbs point back, circle those arms down. And then shift your weight into, let's change it up, let's do the right foot this time. Take your left foot back, dial your back heel down. Hips are open now, warrior two, arms come out. So in warrior two, you can kind of do the same weight shifting thing to find your balance if you like. Make sure that your weight is on the outside edges of your feet. Your arms are up this whole time. I cheated and took a break. But roll them back, fingers point forward, hands point down. You can also, if your shoulders are tight, this sort of more open warrior two is fine. Why we're doing this is to build some endurance in our shoulder muscles. So yeah, I can hang out in warrior two for days. Nice time to kind of come back to the breath a little bit. So feel your arms reaching away from each other. So imagine there's just like little light spaces in your shoulders coming from your solar plexus and your heart all the way up. It's just like you're blooming. Good. And then inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, bring your body forward. Keep that strength, especially in the bottom hand, as you turn your thumbs up and then take triangle pose. So for this one, I want to work on the core a little bit. So usually on triangle, we like let our hand rest, it feels good, and then we drop into that. This one, I want you to see if you can float your triangles. Even if that means you're up a little bit, that's totally fine. Starting to work your core a little bit, make sure that you stay long. So even on the right side, you're not compressing down, you want to be lifting. And your heart twists up towards the ceiling. A couple more breaths. So this bottom arm, not just dropping. You want to keep it nice and strong. And then press into your back foot. Feel like somebody's holding onto your left hand and pulling you back up. Arms come up, hands point down. Shift your right foot so everything points forward. Well,
points to one side. And then shift your warrior two into the other side. So your left toes point away from your back right arch. And let's hang out here. Arms are still working. And you're still breathing. Keep rolling those shoulders back. So as the arms start to get tired, this is when our mind is like, okay, we're done. Let's do something else. Let's go make a snack, whatever. That's when you really get to do your yoga and focus on, I mean, don't be an idiot if your shoulders really need a break, give it to them. But, you know, maybe you can ignore that sensation and know that you're really, really strong. And then inhale, straighten that front leg, shift those hips towards the right. Keep them open as you bring yourself forward, turn those palms up, floating triangle pose. And on every inhale, you're expanding, you're extending from your tailbone out through the crown of your head, from middle finger to middle finger, miles between your hands and your shoulders. And you're not losing connection with that back foot, especially since we're not dropping down into here. You want to really keep connection there so it doesn't compress too much on the left. Do you feel that? All right, shift your weight into the right. Somebody's pulling and helping your right arm up. Warrior two. And then inhale, straighten that front leg. Take those feet forward. So now you're in a standing split. Keep your hands up. Your shoulders are probably getting pretty tired now. Turn those thumbs up and almost back behind you. So you're getting this really open feeling. And then a little bend in the knees. Sit your hips back. Lead from the heart. Don't crink your neck too much. And then just fold forward. And then you can let your hands relax. Oh, it feels good. Take a couple nice big breaths. Inhaling through the nose. And then exhaling through the mouth. Just let all that go. We also carry a lot of stress in our shoulders. Keep doing your pose. Carry like a lot of just like life stress on the tops of our shoulders. This is a really good sequence for just shaking all of it up and then letting it all go. So keep chilling in your forward fold. And you can keep doing that breath over and over. That inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. It's a really nice breath just to like get rid of all that crap that doesn't matter anymore. Alrighty, and then belly pulls in as you bring yourself into a halfway lift. And then let's try Crow Bakasana. It's, we'll see how I do. Sometimes I'm really good, sometimes not so much. So this is, if your shoulders are tired, need a little break, pause the video. You can even get a snack. Alright. So rolling those shoulders back a couple times. So for Crow, I'll show you from the side. This is when I wish I had like 10 cameras so you could see. So it starts with your hands out in front of you. You can start with your legs up in this little like squat, feet close together, knees out wide. Again, those shoulders come back. All those principles that we've been working on, shoulders back, away, strong, engaged, hands spread out. That's your foundation. You want your arms to be pretty strong and straight. And then you can lift your hips up. You can bend your elbows now, but again, you don't want to bend them out. You want to bend them back like chaturanga. And then you sit your knees like up towards your armpits. And then you just lean into your arms. Your triceps become a little stand. And then maybe you lift one toe. And then maybe you lift the other toe. Maybe. And then maybe they come together. And then the full pose, your arms are like totally straight and your knees are in your armpits. So play with that for a little bit. Careful of your wrists. This is when that core is as the heart of your shoulders is the most important. You want to be lifting up through your solar plexus. So it's reaching towards the ceiling. You're extending through your spine. Your heart is still nice and open. The more that you can pull your core in, the easier it is to get your legs up. So play with that a little bit. I'm not super huge on arm balances. Jeez, I'm like, well, just because for me, my ego is just like, oh, yeah, let's like be the most badassest one and do that. And then I end up hurting myself a lot. So if you catch yourself doing that, it's fine, it's normal, but maybe that's not serving your yoga practice. So anyway, when you've had enough of Crow, let's come to lie down on our backs. And rest. So knees bent up, arms out to the side. Just let your arms come all the way out to the side like in a little T. You're gonna keep them there. You're just gonna allow both knees to fall over towards the right. See if you can keep your left shoulder on the ground. And just let your breath calm down. Maybe roll out the wrists a little bit, that might feel kind of good. Actually, definitely roll out the wrists. It feels good. Your palms can be down or up, whatever feels good. And then pull your belly in as you take your knees back to center. And then exhale them over to the left. Keep your right shoulder on the ground. Long, slow breaths. So now that your shoulders are all strong and in alignment, all that stress that wants to pile on, you can take it now, right? You can handle it. You got this. You got life. So I like to tell myself, so I like get up and go to work, right? All right. And when you're ready, bring it back to center. Give yourself one little hug, just to shake out the back a little bit. And because you're awesome, and somewhere deep down you actually do love you. Yoga's about figuring out how to do that, right? A little squeeze, and then relax into your final resting pose. Get any little wiggles and adjustments and itches out of the way. Palms face up, feet down. Breath slows down. No need to control it anymore. And just let yourself completely relax.